In Bach Elan Strinzini.
Translate.
A Genius John production.
My 7 runners-up for the best episode list of The Outer Limits. If you have not seen the first video, I have a link in the above description. Sorry for interrupting, but talking about last video, in the comments section, one of my viewers said that me, Genius John, looks like a character from one of the episodes of The Outer Limits. I hope he doesn't think I look like a Xanthi misfit. He didn't put what it was. So I'm asking you viewers, if I look like a character, put it down below after you watch the video. Now, on to the first runner-up episodes, which is The Invisibles. In this episode, an agent goes deep undercover to infiltrate a secretive organization which has some powerful people connected with it that are trying to overthrow the government.
The society which you have joined is called the Invisibles. It is subversive and illegal.
One slip up by the agent, or if they find out in some other manner his identity, it's all over for him. He's a goner. He's had it. That setup is a tense, exciting, dramatic story on its own. But there's more, much more to the story that adds to the intensity. What is it? Let's watch a clip and see.
Agent number 0021 arrived at headquarters of organization. Head man, present governor of this state. Plan is to infest key men, some alien force from outer space.
Do you hear that? Creepy. Creepy. What is that thing? What are they going to do with it? The agent's going to try to find out as much information as he can about the nature of the organization and what they're up to. But he's also going to try to flip one of the newcomers into one of the other inductees. Is that a mistake? Is he going to be able to flip him? Is he going to be able to keep his identity secret until he can find out everything he needs to know? To find out, you need to watch the episode. The second episode is called Architects of Fear. First, a little background for you younger viewers to understand the mindset of me as a kid, to appreciate the characters' motivations and enjoy the plot that much more. Let me show you a clip of something that was shown to us kids at the time, starting in kindergarten. They would get out a movie projector, or an old-fashioned movie projector, the things wound in there, show this kind of thing to us. Let's look at it and see if you can interpret what it is. I'm just going to show you a little piece.
And Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He'd duck and cover, duck and cover.
Did you figure out what it was? We kids were the turtle. The firecracker were atomic bombs falling over our heads. At the time, we had frequent drills, more often than fire drills, where we would get under our desks. And we did the same thing, starting kindergarten, first grade, second grade, when we could fit under the desks. When we got older grades, we would line up single file out in the hallways and lean against the wall, cupping our hands behind our head like this with the walls here, and we would be leaning against. And that's supposed to protect us from atomic bombs. So now you understand the thinking when I explained this episode. A group of scientists worried about a possible nuclear Armageddon hatches a plan that will unite everybody across the world. They figure to make a common enemy. They're going to make a person into an alien-like creature. They also make a ray gun for it, and it's going to land on a spaceship on the UN. It's going to vaporize people or cars or whatever it's going to do. I heard the creature in this episode was so terrifying that certain affiliate stations blackened out the scenes with it in. Now, I'm going to show some clips, but I'm going to slowly reveal it. I don't want anybody out there having a heart attack, so I'm going to give little references to it. You won't exactly see it, but maybe you're going to hint what it is. Turn it off if you're feeling faint. You're going to pass out. Your heart starts beating too fast. Avert your eyes. Let's look at some clips.
Turn a human being into a thing like that.
If the plot sounds familiar, you may have read the graphic novel The Watchmen or seen the movie. Now, they're lucky Harlan Ellison didn't write this episode of The Outer Limits, or they would have had a lawsuit for sure. If you think you can withstand seeing the whole creature without ducking and covering, then you're going to have to watch the whole episode. Since the first episode I picked was The Invisibles, I thought I'd pick another episode for number 3 that had invisible in the title, and that is The Invisible Enemy. This involved a mystery I did not figure out until it was revealed what was going on. It starts out with 2 astronauts that have landed on Mars. One stays in the spaceship and one leaves the spaceship. When the creepy music kicks in, you know something's up.
Not a sign of a single living thing.
Fred, where are you? Oh my God! Help me, Fred!
Steward, no sign of life, he said. They're gone.
A number of years later, they send another mission. This time they have 4 guys. And when one guy goes out, the instructions are, stay in sight of the other guys. Don't go out of sight. Well, you think he's going to follow protocol? What do you think happens? Are the Martians invisible? Are they intelligent aliens using trickery or some kind of cloaking device? They don't want people on their planet? Or is it something else? What could it be? The people vanish. Have to watch if you haven't seen it. I'm not going to tell you. The 4th episode is The Man Who Was Never Born. An astronaut accidentally goes through time into the future. He lands on Earth and he finds it devastated. He meets a mutant.
What planet is this?
It is called Earth. The year is 2148.
The mutant explains the cause of the devastation.
An extraterrestrial microbe was developed and corrupted by a renowned biologist.
The mutant knows all the details of who it was and when it was. So the 2 of them decide they'll travel back through time and try to stop the problem before it starts. During the journey back through time, the astronaut disappears. The mutant lands in a time period when the mother of the scientist is just about to get married. He has the ability to change his appearance to people through hypnosis. He decides he's going to stop the marriage and therefore stop the scientist from being born in the first place any way he can. Sort of reminds you of the Terminator. In this case, the Terminator is trying to stop the child from being born to save humanity. In the movie The Terminator, he was trying to stop the child from being born to destroy humanity. The makers of that film were lucky that Harlan Ellison didn't write this episode, or they would have had a lawsuit for sure. He did end up suing them for another episode. I have a talk on that. I'll put a link up above. Does the mutant succeed in stopping the child from being born? If so, will he convert back to a normal human and not be a mutant anymore? You'll have to watch if you want to know. The 5th episode is called The Galaxy Being. This episode gets extra bonus points because it was the first episode that was aired. I was happy when I saw it. There was an intelligent, interesting science fiction series coming on every week. There were so few of them that I was just happy as a clam that one would be on. And I liked the fact, too, that it was an anthology. So you never knew week to week what it was going to be about, who was going to be on it, the actors or the characters. There was a lot of variety. In this episode, an engineer doing experiments inadvertently contacts an alien.
Can you hear me?
Both of them were doing things they shouldn't be doing. The engineer was using power from a radio station work his experiments. He shouldn't have been doing that. And the alien was contacting other alien forms just out of pure curiosity. And his people on his planet, or creatures on his planet, whatever he was, forbid them from doing that. It was against the law. So he's breaking the law doing it. Through a mishap, the alien is accidentally drawn onto the planet Earth, and he causes chaos and fear and confusion when people discover his presence. The design of the alien, considering the special effects techniques of the time and the budget of the show, were pretty good. I don't know exactly how they did it, but it was sort of unique and interesting, the creature that they made. Will the engineer be able to help the alien get back to his planet safely, or people destroy them out of fear? If you haven't watched it, give it a shot. The 6th episode is called The Sixth Finger. The scientist is looking for a way to speed up evolution. Here you can see he's been experimenting on a chimp, and you can see that the chimp has increased intelligence. The professor finds a man that works in the mines that's willing to submit to experiments, but he wants to try to see if he can increase the intelligence in a man also. The scientist succeeds beyond his wildest dreams in accelerating the evolution of the man. The man turns out beyond anything that he expected, with powers that he didn't anticipate. The guy he chose for the experiments wasn't the best of choices, as we can see from a few clips.
It would give me great pleasure to see this whole town utterly destroyed. Your ignorance makes me ill and angry.
You can see that the test subject harbored ill will towards the community, so once he had these increased powers, what was he going to do to the community? Will the professor be able to reel him back in once he realizes what he's created? Has he created a Frankenstein? Or will the super brain destroy the village and go beyond that, destroying all of humanity that he looks at like they're chimpanzees or maybe even bugs when you squash them like bugs? You're going to have to watch to find out. The 7th episode is called Corpus Earthling. Now, this has an unusual alien. It may seem kind of weird or sort of ridiculous when you hear what it is or see what it is.
I certainly can't identify them. They're definitely not rock crystals.
But I think its appearance as an innocuous object is something that makes it even more dangerous. If I were to open up my door here and came in my room and saw a bunch of Xanthi misfits crawling all over my desk, I'd slam the door and get out of Dodge, head for the hills. You wouldn't see me. I'd be long gone. But if I saw a rock sitting there, I'd be like, who put that rock on my desk? And go over and pick it up and then I've had it. One character has a metal plate in his head which enables him to hear the creatures communicating.
Time is here. We have come to the day begin to control their planet.
Who's there?
If he can hear us, and if we cannot invade his defective corpus, then we must kill him.
Is the man smart enough to thwart the aliens? Or does he have rocks in his head?
End of transmission.